lost when I feel like nothing. Always feel like I'm running. Both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed, you know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. Trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
Hello, welcome world. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Can we get a mic check? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. How's everyone doing? Hope you are well. Hope your Sunday is well. Great to see everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Linda Lou. Appreciate it. So, lots of news coming out of South Carolina. Stephen Smith case. I did see Joe said, no, where was it? Somewhere that they ordered a R kit on Stephen Smith. That is absolutely true. Sound is good. Thank you so much. Hello, hello. Good to see everyone. So yeah, we got a lot to get into. I've got Stephen Smith's first autopsy report. They are going to be exhuming Stephen Smith soon. There was public funds raised. It went over double what they needed. And, you know, Stephen, his family doesn't come from means whatsoever. But they have a lot of dignity and grace and grit for their son. And, you know, Stephen was such an intelligent young man. He was proud to be himself. And he also taught, if you will, Buster Murdoch after school, trying to, I guess, you know, teach him with his schoolwork and whatever have you. So yeah, thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. So let me, if you don't know anything about Stephen Smith, his body was dumped literally in the middle of the road on July 8th, 2015. This was before anything started. This was before the boat accident, Maggie and Paul's murder, anything, any of it happening. And this is when really, we don't, we didn't know it then. They didn't know it then, but this is when the downhill spiral actually starts. The boat accident is what triggered everything, but if there wasn't that boating accident, then Stephen would probably never have been solved. So yes, before the boating, Stephen Smith died in 2015, July 8th, 2015, and he was a motorist. Very early, I think it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. Found him laying in the middle of the road. It's a 2-lane road, and he was found right in the middle of the yellow line. I think I have here, I'll show you this. This is precisely how Stephen's body was found in the middle of the road. Um, this is how he was laying. Well, let me zoom in. Yeah. Let me zoom in a little bit there. And there we go. Did I hear it correct that a rape kit was ordered to be performed? Yes, you did understand that correctly. You did understand that correctly. There was, that's right, Jared. Exactly. There was a R kit uh, done on him. However, in my opinion, there was a lot of cover-ups in this case. Continue to crumble, stars. That's exactly right. Exactly right. So, all right, let's get back to this. So, his the investigation was initially misclassified as a vehicle hitting him uh, by sled and the sled. And now we know that it is a murder investigation. Um, the misclassification of Smith's death as a hit and run was based on an autopsy performed by Aaron Presnell, a forensic pathologist at the Medical University of South Carolina. Uh, so earlier, I think it was last week, Sandy Smith, which is Stephen's mother, sweet, sweet woman, she and her attorney, Eric Bland, they announced that they were going to be performing to exhume Stephen's body, which they have more than enough money now. And they have already filed for Stephen to be exhumed as well. Now, I want to show you guys a letter that Sandy wrote, and it is heartbreaking. The desperate uh, in a mother's voice, or a mother's heart, rather, not her voice, but I guess her voice too, but really her heart. And this is from 2016. So Stephen died in 2015. This letter happened in 2016. She knew from the very beginning nobody would listen because the Murdochs were involved. But in 2016, she wrote this letter a year after Stephen died. And I will read it to you. So this is to the FBI headquarters in D.C. Stephen Smith murder investigation. She was calling it a murder then, from the very beginning. I think that's quite telling. Dear sir or madam, my family is in desperate need of your help. My 19-year-old son, Stephen Nicholas Smith, was murdered on July 8th, 2015, in Hampton County, South Carolina. It has been apparent from the first week of the investigation that authorities are covering up critical evidence, and we no longer know who to trust. Stephen's father, my ex husband, who is now deceased, and I were first told that our son was shot to death after running out of gas in the early hours of the morning and and exiting his vehicle. Later that day, we were told it was a hit and run. Finally, investigators determined he was beaten to death. He was attacked so violently that the entire side of his face was rebuilt with putty from his funeral. Hampton investigators asked us at the time to continue to publicly say it was a hit and run. They claimed that they didn't want the killer to know they were looking for him. There have been no named suspects. Pardon me. The first call my family received after the murder was from authorities notifying us that Stephen's death. The second came very quickly the same morning from solicitor Randolph Murdoff. In fact, he called my ex husband's cell phone as we waited in the police station for a positive identification. Now, remember, Randolph Murdoff was still the solicitor in 2015. Okay, that's a very important thing to note. Um, In fact, he called my ex-husband's cell phone as we waited in the police station positive for a positive identification. Can you imagine the parents? God bless any parent who's ever had to do something like that. He said he's heard of the case and interested in working pro bono as a liaison between my family and investigators. Oh, I bet you did, Murdoch. I bet you did. Stephen's father accepted the offer, although we were quickly unsure why Mr. Murdoch wanted to help us. We also weren't sure how he found out so quickly, even before it was confirmed to be our son. Surprisingly, after just a few interactions, Mr. Murdoch stopped returning our calls. Within days, our son's death, Stephen's twin sister, Stephanie, was approached multiple times by peers, telling her that the solicitor Murdoch's nephews were responsible. As a family, it was suspicious to us since he had taken such an immediate interest in the case and then became unreachable so quickly. Uh, these these suspicions reached new heights weeks later when Stephen's older brother, Chris, was approached at work by a young man he didn't know. This person told Chris this this person told Chris he was present when Stephen was murdered and witnessed everything firsthand. He said that the solicitors Murdoch's nephew, Buster Murdoch, who graduated with Stephen, beat Stephen to death with a baseball bat. He claimed it was because Stephen was gay. Stephen was, in fact, gay. The witness said they were out smashing mailboxes when they came upon Stephen and Buster's seized the opportunity. So that they were out smashing mailboxes. God, such good kids, right? And I guess they saw Stephen in the road, allegedly. The young man told Chris that Buster threatened to kill him if he ever spoke up. The information was given to investigators, uh, but nothing has come of it. In reviewing a copy of the 911 dispatch log, which I have enclosed, tab A, page 2, I found that the first responding officer, Michael Bridges, arrived on scene within a minute of the 911's dispatch, even though in the Hampton County Sheriff's Office incident report, tab B, he claimed to have driven around for a while trying to find my son's body. The second officer, Jason Eubanks, arrived within 2 minutes. This is suspicious to me because the area where my son was placed is extremely rural. Cops do not patrol that area frequently, and it's not likely an officer, much less two, would coincidentally be patrolled in the area prior to 5 a.m. They have they had to be in the area at the time for a reason. I suspect they will they were there because they already knew Stephen was there, and I suspect the Murdoffs were the ones who told them. The Murdoffs are probably the most prominent family in Hampton County. Stephen had on more than one occasion mentioned to his friends and his twin sister that he was involved romantically with someone from a prominent family in the county who is hiding his sexuality. He said that it would shock people to know this person was gay. We we suspect this could be the young man Stephen was referring to, though he never named him. At the beginning of the investigation, officers told us they were not to have access to Stephen's text messages for approximately a year. That they would not have access. Okay. They claimed that they would have to send the phone to Apple to override these security features. We found out months later the phone had never been sent to Apple. Often, investigators claimed it was uncertain which department had the phone. They have since produced the phone, which they still have not sent to Apple, but still claim they cannot access it. We feared then and still fear now that they have and will continue to delete critical information from the phone. It was it has already been over a year and we have no knowledge of who Stephen interacted with by phone call or text prior to his murder. Since the murder, Buster has gotten rid of his old vehicle, which is critical because, according to the witness who approached Chris, they were traveling in Buster's old vehicle that night. It's also critical because Stephen was found 3 miles from his vehicle on the morning of the murder. There was no blood splatter on the crime scene despite his brutal beating, which makes it clear he was transported to that site. We believe there's DNA in Buster's old vehicle. I think it's important to note that Stephen's wallet was found in his own vehicle and his gas cap was open, further suggesting he did not leave willingly. Stephen was very skittish and would never have walked down the road in the dark. It's not it's not likely he would have opened his car door to accept assistance from someone he did not know, especially alone on a dark country road. He was even known to walk through the woods during the day to stay out of sight. His autopsies show his toxicology reports were negative for drug and alcohol. By the way, we're going to get to his autopsy report after this. So I have no reason to believe he would have done something so completely out of character. Since Stephen was placed on a highway, it became a highway patrol investigation. We thought this was beneficial to Stephen since local authorities obviously have their own agenda. However, this did not help our cause at all. This case was mysteriously bounced from investigator to investigator without reason or notification. It would repeatedly get to a certain point, then the assigned investigator would bow out, perhaps not wanting to take on Solicitor Murdaugh. I was approached in September 2015 by a gentleman claiming to know about a critical case decades ago that was swept under a rug to protect a different member of the Murdaugh family. This came as no surprise to me. I see history repeating itself with my son. No one here is trying to solve our case. Therefore, I contacted Governor Nikki Haley the same month with a plea for help. I wrote her a letter to I wrote her a letter telling her basically word for word the story I have just explained to you. She responded promptly and assigned the case to new investigators. While it appeared to be the answer to our prayers, very little progress has been made, and they say they have exalted their leads. I cannot fathom how that is possible. Our concerns regarding Solicitor Murdaugh and his family have not been investigated despite witness accounts, which include an alleged conversation between a schoolmate of Buster's little brother Paul and school officials. I was told he claimed to have knowledge of the murder and implicated Buster as the murderer. Those school officials were told to have discussed the statement with the student's family, not police. We have heard no further follow up to the situation. Interestingly, according to my source, Paul was transferred from the school to a private school after the alleged statement. We believe Solicitor Murdaugh's influence extends to the pathologist Dr. Aaron Presnell of MUSC, who performed Stephen's autopsy, uh, though Deputy Coroner Kelly Green and SLED agent Brittany Burke, who were both present for the autopsy, have gone on the record to state that neither made any mention of a car striking Stephen. Big red flag there, folks. Big red flag there. So the coroner nor the SLED agent were both present during the autopsy, and neither of them made any mention of a car striking Stephen. Pardon me. Dr. Presnell ruled his death a hit and run. She was combative with Highway Department investigators, Todd Proctor, regarding her finding when he pointed out that the only trauma was to Stephen's head. He asked how she came to that conclusion, and she said it was because he was found dead in the road. That alone was her reason. She insisted a hit and run, despite the fact that neither his injuries nor the crime scene support the findings. Listen, if there is a hit and run, there's going to be you're going to be knocked out of your shoes more than likely. You're going to have your clothes all ripped and torn, and you're going to have a lot of road rash, um, and it's going to be a mess. That was not the case with Stephen. He was found rather neatly in the middle of the road with perfect except damage to his head, by the way. The coroner disagrees with the determination, and it is documented multiple times in the case file that there was no skid marks or vehicle debris consistent with the hit and run crime. Dr. Presnell confirmed to the investigator Proctor that she found no glass or other fragments on the body to suggest a hit and run. There will be fragments all over him, whether they're microscopic or you can see with the naked eye. There will be fragments all over him, all over the road. There was none. It is simply not possible that the vehicle struck solely his head. Coroner Ernie Washington informed investigator Proctor that Dr. Presnell told him she would, quote, chance her report to read however he wanted it, end quote. Copies of investigators Proctor's summary notes which documents his his discussion with Dr. Presnell and Coroner Washington are enclosed. We desperately need your help. This investigation is being deliberately derailed. We need someone to hold the investigators accountable and access Stephen's phone. Solicitor Murdoch is widely known, and it appears this is playing to his advantage. We need someone who doesn't care about his family's name and take this case seriously. In July 2016, I wrote to Attorney General Loretta Lynch in hopes that she could and would help us, but there has been no response. I have enclosed the key documents I mentioned above, but I can provide copies of all the case documents I have at your request. We also have new information which we discovered in the past few weeks that we feel is critical to this case. However, I no longer trust the investigators here. I am holding it as I await your response. I thank you immensely for your time and help. Enclosed is the 911 call log, Hampton County Sheriff's Office, SLED, crime, and all that. So, thank you so much, Jilly Bean. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, that is really, really crazy. Sorry if I missed anyone. After so many years post-mortem, how much of the body is remaining? Um, Listen, if you are embalmed really good, uh, you'll be it's been 2015. It just depends on the weather and the climate, mainly if there's water and stuff, but he should be relatively, oh, okay, I guess you could say. Maybe they picked him up to give him a ride to the gas station, and went downhill from there. You know what I think it was? I think they were out smashing mailboxes and they saw his car on the side of the road, and then a couple miles, maybe a mile or so later, they, oh no, that wouldn't work. Maybe, I think maybe they stopped there and they just beat the hell out of him, unfortunately. Unfortunately, he was found 3 miles away from his car, which, a country road, that's a long way, right? It's quite a ways. So yeah. Yes, his wallet was in the car, everything is, and they've just, to beat it all, Sandy Smith, she lost her son. 3 months later, she lost her ex-husband, but they were still together. And he died. Sandy says he died from a broken heart. She lost her son and her ex-husband within 3 months. What is it, 53 miles? How come there's no mention of the AR kit results? Well, we're going to get to that autopsy report. Yes, Lisa, she did. She lost her. And she always says he died of a broken heart. Hey, Gina, good to see you, honey. Hey, Nosy. So it's just been a tragic. Hold on, let me see if I can I'll show you some pictures here. If it'll let me pull them up. All right, so I'll show you some pictures of the area. So this is Stephen Smith's car. And Sandy called it a little yellow, what was it? A little yellow something. I forget. And I don't know if y'all can see right here, but you can see the gas lid is open and the cap is hanging out. Here is, I'm guessing, where he was, very close to where he was found. And this is, they found him at approximately 4 a.m. in the morning, and I don't believe he was out of the road until close to 9 a.m. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Lox. It looks like a geo, but it's probably some, I don't even think they make geo trackers anymore or whatever they track now. A little geo. It's probably something, it's a Chevrolet. Makes you wonder if it was staged. Well, he was out of gas, and to be quite honest with you, Steven was known to have run out of gas quite a bit. Maybe Tiffany. Maybe. That sounds... That's all it is, Mary. And you can see... Now, look at this road. You see how straight it is, right? Now, can you imagine Steven walking in the middle of the road at 4 a.m. in the morning and not getting out of the way? He's going to get out of the way. He's going to know that there is a car coming for a long while. You're going to hear it coming. It's not like there's a street light around. You're going to, it's going to be bright. A yellow banana. That's what it was. Michelle, thank you. He's not going to, he's just not going to be, of course, he's not going to be found in the middle of the road. He would never be walking in the middle of the road. And I guess this is, more of the area. This is some caution tape, I guess, where he was found. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but if you can see it, but you can tell where there's either they've cleaned the road here or there's some water or something between these two. So he was found between these trees right here. And right where this arrow is, you can see that there is fluids of some sort. All right, now this is in his car. His car was, Tony, yay, thank you for becoming a member, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Human anatomy. Okay, and okay, this is it. This is the front of his car. And he still had his wallet in the car. He's not going to go. Thank you so much, Tony, for your super sticker. Very kind of you, my love. Thank you. He's not going to leave that car without his wallet. I feel like maybe Buster, if he allegedly picked him up, we're just going to say allegedly he did. If he did, you know, he knew Buster. But once they got in that car, he got in that car, or maybe he thought they were going to help him, maybe he was unscrewing the cap or something like that, and then they knocked him in the head or shot him in the side of his head. Yeah, no one leaves their car without their wallet. I even think his keys were found in the car, if I recall correctly. I saw on another channel that Steven had an older boyfriend. Yes. Um, Steven, it wasn't really so much his boyfriend as it was, maybe just a intimate partner, to keep it PG. And then here's the back of it, and you can see the cap right here is off. It's so haunting to see this. This is from 2015. This mother, Sandy Smith. Yeah, more so. I see you. Yeah. Where did you see that at, Jersey? Oh crap. You okay, Alabama? Okay, here's the gas cap. But anyway, Sandy Smith, she has been fighting, screaming from the rooftops about this family since 2015. Okay, here you go. Here's where Steven was found. And you can see fluids, where he had been there. It won't let me zoom on it, I don't think. Let me try this. Okay, maybe this one's better. Make it bigger. I don't think his keys were in his pocket. Let me make sure. I could be wrong. Stephen was found with iPhone and yes, okay, I stand corrected. I apologize. Stephen, his iPhone and his car keys was in his pocket. Something was in his car that he would never leave. I can't remember what it was. Then I thought it was his keys. So I wonder if Buster and them said, "Hey, let me give you a ride." Wallet. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you, Rhonda. It was the wallet that was confusing. Thank you, guys. Yeah. But then again, you think, well, wouldn't you take your wallet if you was going to go get gas? Right? Or there probably wasn't any gas station open at that time, especially out there. I wonder if he just said, "Hey, let me just give you a ride," and he just kind of forgot his wallet even. Maybe Alex did this and not Buster because he didn't want his son to have his relationship. Buster It is possible, but it doesn't make sense that the thing is, to me, is it? I mean, how would anybody know Steven was going to run out of gas? I really feel Buster did and what Alex had on him. Probably SB. I saw somewhere where it was laying in the fetal position. Someone would have had to pick him up under his arm. Well, I can show you how he was found. This is exactly the diagram on how he was found. So I mean, maybe is that considered the fetal position whenever your legs are out like that, though? Fetal position is. You're on the treadmill, Riley? Oh my God, good job. I've lost 7 pounds. Hey, honey. Go, girl. Um, Makes you wonder if someone put something in his tank. Wow, Loeb, I never thought of something like that. Yes, Gina. Buster does deny. There's actually a call Buster had talking to Alec in jail, and Buster said something like, you know, people are crazy or something for thinking we have even something to do with this. And Alec's like, well, I don't know. I'm on a Chase Lounge. Well, good for you too. You'd gain the 7 pounds. The older guy that he had an affair with said he could not have been out of gas. He had just gave him a gas card with over $100 on it. Huh. So, but was it a gas card or was it a gas card? You know what I mean? Was it just for gas or was it just like a debit card? You could use it anywhere. Oh, Jelly Bean, you better run, not walk. I don't think he was out of gas. His sister said he had a problem with the car a few days before, oil bottles laying in his car. It was something with the engine. But he usually calls his sister. I know. Why wouldn't he just call his sister? Why wouldn't he just call his sister? Hey, Southern Grammy. So they saw no. So we're going to look at this autopsy report in a moment if I can read it. It's so tiny. Yeah, so they really hid this up, in my opinion. God, I hope I can see it. I can't see with my glasses or with my contacts, let alone without them, and it's little print. But we'll give it a shot. So this is the Department of Pathology and Lab Medicine. This was taken 7/8/2015. Autopsy reasons requested by coroner, authorized by Ernie Washington. All right, diagnosis: brainstem stretched with associated something hemorrhage, uh, cerebral confusion, right temporal lobe, extensive skull fractures, scalp and something hemorrhage, right forehead lacerations with posterior something, irregular abrasions and contusions of right and left arms, right shoulder dislocated. Huh. So you think about, what can happen when you're in a fight, or you can, or after he died, where if they were moving him, a bunch of people, it could have dislocated his shoulder. If there was a R kit, what were the results? Don't know yet. Don't know. Blood in airways, head x-rays, no projectiles. So they're saying that there's no projectiles. Now, this is the thing. We don't know if this is accurate or not, to be quite honest. Justin, why do you think the guy saying he watched Buster said they were out busting mailboxes with a ball and bat? I think it needs to be looked at further, and I'm sure it already is. Why would they do a rape credit? Let me hit and run. Because I believe the coroner. Wait a minute. I would say that this would be pretty accurate because the coroner was actually trying to do the right thing, but as we see, the Murdochs had people in their way. His shoes would have been off if it had been in a car. My husband's cousin was in a car hit by a truck and his shoes were found in the back seat. Yes. Yep. What didn't want disappear? Summer on. No. I don't know what you're talking about, Jackie. I'm sorry. There are, in a small town, there's always going to be rumors, right? All right. So no projectiles, which if there's no projectiles, did they not see any? So this is my thing. If they did an x-ray and they don't see projectiles, why are they thinking it is a gunshot now? ADAS, if they have that phone, they can get that information. Yes, as long as they have that phone, yes, they can get that information. I was hit by a car at 13. My shoes came off. Yes, your shoes normally almost always come off. Almost always come off. So that's my thing. If there's no projectiles in his head, why the heck are they saying it is a gun? You know what? Gallbladder something. Post-mortem, I think it says toxicology negative. All right, now here we go. Here's the cause of death. Cause of death, blunt head trauma due to motor vehicle crash, pedestrian versus vehicle. Manner of death is undetermined. The manner of death is now created as rather is a homicide. Pardon me. Case history. According to the coroner, the decedent was a 19-year-old male who was reported to be lying in the road by a passerby driving a wrecker around 4 a.m. on July 8th, 2015. Authorities responded he was deceased at the scene. The decedent's car was 2 to 3 miles down the road and was out of gas. The decedent appeared to have been heading to home. Please see the coroner's report for additional details. So, does anyone know who the last person that saw Stephen alive? Was it his boyfriend or what? Because, I was just thinking, could he have just been, could he have been with Buster and the other guys just goofing off and all that? And so, and then they, wherever it happened, and they took his car, took the gas out of it, went down the road because it was, toward his house. I think it was just a few miles from his sister's house, and she could have came and got him. I really think Stephen would have called her, but after they dumped the car, took out the gas, dumped him in the middle of the road. What was that, Justice Janie? Mother said he just got out of school or work. All right, Natural. Good seeing you, honey. Certainly looks like a hate crime, dude. I think this was, in my opinion, it was because he, if this is related to the Murdoffs, and Sled found out they reopened up the case when Maggie and Paul's case happened. So I don't think Buster, he felt shame and maybe embarrassment because of being in a small town, and also his maybe disappointing his family because they were, no, I'm not saying they took the gas out. That's, I'm saying that as a theory. I heard he was leaving work. His mother said there was gas in the car. Let me go back to that letter. What is... Here's Stephen and his mother. Because I don't know if owns the gas station. Used to talk to them, and they... So I don't. I can't imagine there being Yes, Denise. Oh my God. If y'all have not watched the Murdoch uh, documentary on Netflix, you are missing. It is a very, very good documentary. But I can't. Someone said that they said Steven's mom said there was gas in the car. That would even make it less make sense, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So now there is a new report that came out yesterday. I've got some more stuff, some more reports and stuff I can show you. But so this is Stephen Smith. I showed you guys the photos earlier. Stephen Smith's horrific injuries were consistent with gunshot wound, and investigators believes death was staged. I think, in my opinion, that's almost a given that his death was staged. And the boys, I heard it from the channel. See, I don't think there was DRUGS on that island because of the way I don't think it was very convenient for them to do. But I mean, I could be wrong. Could be wrong. So Stephen reminds me a lot of myself. I kind of probably grew up very similar to Stephen. Uh, you know, a young gay boy in a very conservative family and conservative area, uh, and when I say conservative, I don't mean political. I just mean more of uh, I have five. I have like five pastors now in my family. So I had four then, but now I have five. So yeah, I'll just say that. So let me find this. What does it say? Look at old Buster. Look at his little scruffy red beard. Scruffy red beard. Um, so it was initially believed that Stephen Smith died from a hit and run while he was looking for help after his vehicle was reportedly, keyword reportedly, run out of gas. Autopsy results suggest the impact caused the teen's death, but his heartbroken family refused to believe their son, described as skittish, would have walked into the road unthinkingly. On Wednesday, officials made a bombshell announcement that it was clear investigators did not suspect the incident was manslaughter and confirmed that the tragedy is now indeed considered a homicide. It comes after South Carolina Highway Patrol officers who responded to the incident reportedly said that a wound on his skull appeared to be consistent with a gunshot, according to the multi-action disciplinary team, also notes seen on the Inside Edition Digital. According to the incident reports, the injury was later attributed to a truck that may have sideswept him with a rearview mirror. However, detectives at the scene have spoken out with the theory that would suggest homicide. Investigators Todd Proctor, who responded to the death, claimed that Fox News that based upon his 15 years of experience, nothing about this case could indicate it was a hit and run. As an investigator, you go off of evidence. There is no evidence that points toward this being a hit and run or a vehicle even being involved in it, he claimed to the outlet. It looked like it was more staged, like possibly the body had been placed in the roadway. So Proctor explained that when a person is fatally struck by a vehicle, it causes them to tumble down the road, in quotes, leaving their clothes and shoes strewn across the street. You have no evidence to show that there was any movement of the body, he explained. It looked like it was placed there. In my opinion, it was placed there. Not a doubt, in my opinion. He added that Smith's keys, phone, and wallet were okay. So the son says wallet as well were hanging halfway outside his pocket. I think that, in my opinion, his phone and keys may have been, but I really think, in my opinion, they may have gotten this wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I think his wallet was in his car. But regardless, even if it was his keys and his phone, hello, there's no way it should be hanging halfway out of your pocket. It just didn't fit the description that this individual was hit by a vehicle. So, SLED on June 23rd, 2021, cited new evidence while analyzing the deaths of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. Progress has been made, and SLED's investigation is actively and ongoing. The statement reads, additional agents have been assigned to the case. So they're talking about it's very unclear. The link between the Murdaugh investigation and Smith's deaths led to online speculation that implicated Buster Murdaugh, the only surviving son of his convicted murder father, Alec Murdaugh. So we read that letter from Buster's mother, Sandy. Yeah. So just very sad, man. Very, very sad. There's a thing I want to show y'all. Let me find it. Is this it? All right, let me reset this. This is from the New York Post, I believe. No.
How do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date?
Oh, please. Nobody cares. Wallet and his phone was in the car. No, I know his wallet was in the car, I believe. Here it is. 2015. That's still not what I was looking for. Oh, guys, not to. Did y'all hear about this? Is tragic too. By the way, I'm so sorry. Denise, thank you so much for your super sticker. It's very kind of you, honey. I just now saw it. I apologize. Guys, if I missed any mods, please tell me so I can give them a thank you. It's very kind. But after 6 children, guys, 6 young girls killed in Tennessee highway crash after car hits shoulder and the barrier and then flips. Did y'all see this? Oh my God. That is terrible. 6 young girls. Let me fill my cup. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yes, that's. Does anybody live in Tennessee in here? It happened Sunday, so today. A red Toyota Camry with 2 adults on exit 24 on I-25 west of Robertson County around 2 a.m. Just very tragic. Yeah, I wanted to show y'all that. All right, there's one more thing. I'm just left some. By the way, that auction that everyone was talking about, the Murdoffs, I had some subscribers. Yes, at 2 a.m. today, 2 a.m. this morning. Yes, you are justice. Yes. They said everything was extremely expensive. It wasn't the Camry. I don't think it was. When their car flipped during a devastating crash. 3. That's true. A red Toyota Camry with 2 adults and 6 kids suddenly left the road near exit 24. How do you fit 2 adults and 6 kids in a Camry? That is a question. $35,000. You couldn't give me that juju. No way. No how. Don't want it. Stack them very hard. Yeah. That couch looked like it had odor. That's a 5-seater. 3 in the back, 2 in the front. You don't legally, exactly. Yeah, that's. I just realized that. Cook's like, how you doing that? That's exactly. I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want a socks if they were brand new either. I just don't want that. That juju on that beat. Yeah, I don't. I don't want that on me. No, thank you. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. All right. I'm trying to find this report that I don't know if I exited out of it or not. It's annoying me. Annoying me. You know, Stephen Smith didn't have a headstone until recently when subscribers from another channel, I wish I knew the channel's name, I forget, they gave him. Okay, here it is. Here's a report I want to show you. All right, here is the South Carolina Patrol multi accident investigation team. Okay, 7/8/2015, Troop 7, time notified 5:15 in the morning. So that's about an hour and 15 minutes after the first call went in. Photographers secured. Duncan, other photographers. Evidence collected by Booker. Yes. They collected a cell phone. Duncan collected a clothes sled evidence. Was the tire examined? Not necessary. Mechanical exam? Not applicable. Autopsy? Yes. Okay. And then here's a handwritten one. Vehicle inspected? No. No. Okay. Sandy Run Road. We know that. Why does this say 1 a.m.? Zero one. Okay. Brown hair, blue eyes, 165 pounds, 5'8". Student. Okay, here it is. On July 8th, between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., an incident took place involving the victim and an unknown subjects. The victim was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road, deceased from some sort of blunt force trauma to the head. Responded to the scene. I saw no vehicle debris, skid marks, or injuries consistent with someone being struck by the vehicle. The victim's shoes were loosely tied, and both were still on. After consulting with mate, we see no evidence to suggest the victim was struck by a vehicle. The incident is still under investigation following the report. So this is from probably like the highway patrols or something, right? And they put out, oh, guess what? Nothing there. Nothing there. And, you know, we don't see this as a hit and run, but they would change that. Not them. And then here is the Sandy Run Road. They have to draw a diagram. So Stephen's head was here on this side. His feet, head and feet laying like that. Very staged, in my opinion. Notified by Lieutenant Brock of the incident. I notified Captain Duncan, on call supervisor, to contact on scene supervisor. Captain Duncan called me to advise that he was told it appeared to be a homicide and SLED was taking it over. I was advised there was a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. Corporal Duncan then discontinued his trip to the scene. I then advised Lieutenant Brock of the updated status of the incident. I was notified by Lieutenant Brock that the victim did not have a gunshot wound accordingly to the autopsy. 7-8 contacted Sergeant Burns and Sergeant Moore to gather further information, contacted Corporal Duncan to formulate a plan of action. Flyer was made and I don't know what it says. This something. 7-9 met with Sergeant Moore or Moof, Corporal Duncan, Raul, and Brittany Burke at People's Roden Funeral Home to examine the body. Attempted to make contact with the 911 caller at his residence. He was not at home. traveled to the scene and documented, met with Hampton County to gather any of their information and the victim's phone. 7/8/15. Corporal Allen advised that he was not needed at the autopsy. There was alluding to Sled and Hampton County. Sergeant Booker contacted at 1830 in reference to the incident in Hampton County. 7/9 met with I think Sergeant Moore, Sergeant Booker, L.C. Rowell, and Brittany Burke. Sled Roden Funeral Home to examine the body. Photographs were done at the time. So that's going to be very important for them, is the photographs as well. How he was then versus now, and they'll compare those two, obviously. Left the funeral home to attempt an interview with Ronnie Capers, 911 caller. Traveled to the incident site, traveled to 4220 Joe Miley Road, and met with father, sister, and brother. Dang. Notified at 5:18 by Sergeant Booker in reference to an incident in Hampton County on Sandy Run Road. Contacted Corporal Allen something supervisor in reference to the incident status. A white male was found in the roadway on Sandy Run Road. The only injuries to the victim were around the head area. Corporal Allen called back and advised me that it appeared to be a homicide. Look at that, guys. Homicide. That it appeared to be a homicide, and Sled had been called. States it appeared to be a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. At this point, I contacted Sergeant Booker and advised him of the circumstances. From the beginning, they have said this is a homicide. Even most of the police and the coroner, and most importantly, Stephen's mother, Sandy, have been screaming it from the rooftops. Oh, wow, T-Ray. I don't know about that. That's terrible. According to the family, Stephen would never have been walking in the middle of the roadway. He was very skittish. Clothes and iPhone sent to Sled on 7/10. 7/13, audio interview conducted with the 911 caller, Ronnie Capers. Mr. Capers stated that he never stopped, just saw someone lying in the road. States he thought it was an animal at first, but when he got closer, he saw it was a white guy laying in the road. 7/14, traveled to Hampton County impound lot to photograph Stephen's car. Gas cap was unscrewed and hanging outside of the gas cap door. But did he have gas in the car? Contacted Mark by phone. Mr. Bighard was in a relationship with Stephen Smith. Okay, so confirmed. According to Mark, anyways. And, Mark, I don't know if you've ever seen a interview with Mark. He is interesting. Very interesting. Traveled to Mr. Bickford's residence and conducted an audio interview. States him and Stephen were in a relationship. States that he had talked with Stephen by phone and text on the morning of the incident. states he believed foul play was involved. After leaving Mr. Bigford's residence, he called me at approximately 14:12. States he is not sure about the timelines and just rambled in conversation. Contacted the corporal, I think Roel, and asking the family for Stephen's iPad and laptop. Mr. Bickford called again at 1637 hours and left a message. Mr. Bickford called 3 times at 003400 hours and 0035 hours. Subject left a voice message. Mr. Bickford called twice while I was in a meeting. Call times 1049 hours and 1051 hours. Subject left voice message. Traveled to Trooper 7 headquarters and met with Lieutenant Taylor and more. Briefed them on the incident. Moore transferred the iPad and computer to me. Contacted for Roel to make arrangements to interview Stephen Smith's sister, Stephanie Smith. Traveled to Hampton County and interviewed Stephen Smith at the DMV office. States Stephen Smith became very secretive about 2 weeks prior to the incident. She did not know anyone who had a problem with Stephen. States Stephen had class at Orangebury, I think it means Tech, on the 7th of July. Also says she didn't talk about his boyfriend. He didn't talk about his boyfriend a lot. Returned computer. iPad taken to Charleston by Corporal Proctor. Spoke with and interviewed Stephen's mother. Mother confirmed that Stephen had become more secretive lately. Mother also said that Stephen had a friend, but they had a disagreement a while back, possible named James, but they became friends. Thought it was a strange Stephen was not studying like he used to and was playing hooky from school. That is very rare for Stephen because he was always the one that would help you get extra credit, right? Spoke with Corporal Ronell about tracking down James and Below and checking on video from store and seeing Mark Bickford earlier that morning around incident site. Spoke with Corporal Roel and James and no video, and James states him and Stephen had a relationship for a while, but has not seen him in a while. Contacted Lieutenant Johnson, said there was no luck unlocking the iPhone. Spoke with Stephen's mother, no new information. Reviewing iPad download, media 7/5/15, 1444 hours, 33 11:50 to 1 a.m. Do not come. And NBSP, something in Spanish. This is the information from the iPad. There's no way he was out walking by himself. The hogs are horrible out here. Do you live there, T-Ray? God, they're always talking about those pigs, those hogs. No, no, no. Get away, little piggy. Wee, 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 all the way home. Boo, boo. Uh-uh. Not going to happen. Not with me, sis. Can I go back to the Spanish part and see if you can read it? Sure. Brang mi quiero ir a casa la caller mi este something. Oh, wait, all the way home, honey. A wild hog is life. Yes, they are. I know they're mean. I'm just kidding. I'm just making a joke, guys. They're very mean. They will kill you if you're not careful. Like, they're bad. No, piggy. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I ain't doing it. Sorry, boo boo. Sorry, boo boo. Not doing it. Sorry. Yeah, they're very small. The letters are small. The family were probably waiting until Alex's trial. I think they, was just getting Alex. If they got Alex convicted, which I don't think it was that hard to do, to be honest with you, because if you couldn't see that, then can't tell you. But seriously, after they got him convicted, the Murdoch's name was nothing, right? So it was best to get him convicted first, probably. I mean, they should have gotten justice for him in the beginning, but Murdoch's name was there, right? And contacted Lieutenant Johnson with SLED, made arrangements to pick up the iPhone on Tuesday, contacted Sandy Smith in reference to assisting with unlocking the phone. Sandy Smith states she was the secondary fingerprint for the phone, states she can meet with me on Tuesday in Orangeburg. Oh, Sandy had her fingerprint on there. That's good. Picked up iPhone from SLED, no chain of custody with the phone. Met with Sandy Smith and Stephen Smith in Orangeburg, unable to unlock the phone. What? I wonder if he took her finger off of there. Contacted Rachel, Stephen's best friend, states, by the way, Rachel, Stephen's best friend, she is working so tirelessly, talking to people nonstop to find justice for him with Stephen. And she states last time she spoke with Stephen was, and she's in that documentary, by the way, on Netflix, by text around 7 or 8 p.m. on 7/7/15. No other information. Conley met with me around 8:30 to transfer the iPad to me. Returned iPad to Stephen Smith. So, to Stephanie Smith, rather. Sorry. So they got it on. They got the information off of the iPad. So 8/6, Stephanie contacted me which is Steven's twin sister. Stephanie contacted me on my phone, states she had some information she needed to give me, asked Stephanie if she would email me the information that we talked about over the phone, received an email with the information. Sandy Smith called, states she went back to the scene and found a footprint about. Interesting. That would be awesome if they could check that footprint out, right? Hey, Amanda. Hey, Navy Vet. I was referring to the headstones of Paul. The family may have been waiting until. Oh, gotcha. Apologize, my darling. I apologize, countrywoman. Yeah. 200 feet down from where Stephen was found, states the impression was in an ant mound. Also says another print was not visible because of rain. Contacted Angela Carroll in reference to Stephen Smith's death. Information from Stephanie Smith states a boy named Brendan asked if Stephen and Buster Murdoch ever had any type of relationship. Attempted to call Brendan's phone, no answer, left message. The father of Brendan called me, wanted to know what was going on, stated he would have his son call me later. More in reference to Brendan contacted me 10:35, states that the text that he sent Angela was what he heard from others, just rumors. Continued to look through information downloaded from Stephen's iPad, still trying to get a timeline. No new information. iPad was at Orangeburg Tech the night before his death, according to breadcrumb files. Okay, so his iPad was at his school. Attempted to contact Mark Bickard by phone, went straight to voicemail, left Mr. I think it's Bickard a message. Timer 10:54. Attempted to contact Mark. Left message 1300. Attempted to call Mark. Still goes straight to voicemail. Left a message. Attempted to call again. Goes straight to voicemail. Spoke with Sandy Smith. Give me a phone to a person that may know some information. Only knows first name Cecil. Attempted to contact Cecil. No answer. Left message in him to contact Nora Williams. Sandy Smith states she may have some information about Stephen's death. Rings 4 times. No voicemail. Okay. Spoke with Stephanie Smith about Nora Williams and Dale Stanley. States Dale says there was a green Jeep that was following Stephen on or the day before he died. Does anyone know what kind of car Buster had, or did he have a Jeep? Oh, did someone give memberships? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Frankly, I would like to go home. This heat is kicking me. Momo Shark was able to read it. Oh. It says, frankly, I would like to go home. This heat is in me. Thank you, Momo Shark. Momo Shark do 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 do. Momo Shark do 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 do. Momo Shark do 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 do. Momo Shark. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Momo Shark. Sandy Smith called at 12:23, wanted to know if any of the interviews done had led to any new information. Sandy Smith called and said she had learned on the radio that an arrest had been or will be made in reference to her son's death. That's okay, Shannon. We're glad you're here, my love. Hello, Ruby. Good to see you. Make it rain, girl. Ruby Rainmaker. Ruby Rainmaker, maker. Okay, that doesn't rhyme. I wasn't sure who gifted the membership to me. Oh, thank you, Gina. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gina, oh my god. Okay. Lieutenant Proctor contacted the radio station in reference to an arrest. Ask him to find out if this was true and maybe who called saying it. How many more is there of these? Okay. Last one, I think. Received an email in reference to anonymous tip. States something Aiken, along with another black male and a white male, Murdoch, are the ones involved in death. This tip is referring to Stephen Smith. So 12/7. 12/7 is when someone that they received an email in reference an anonymous tip states that something Dontero or something Aiken, along with another black male and a white male, in parentheses Murdaugh, are the ones involved in death. This tip is referring to Stephen Smith. 12/7, same day, contacted Corporal Rowell and briefed him on this information. Also sent an email to him, more Sergeant Burns and Sergeant Booker, about what I've learned. One second. What I've learned, where was it? Or what I wanted Corporal Rowell to do. 12/7, same day, sent Corporal Proctor this information and advised him about situation. Okay, I'll read this. We'll continue this part later. So this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. My throat cannot take any more. Justin, did they know they found blue paint on which could have came from a car of aluminum bat? Real me, now that you say that, I completely forgot about that until you mentioned that. And it was a dune buggy, wasn't it? The real me that the Murdochs had and had sold or repainted it or something to that effect. I remember that now. Yes, I do. Hey, Daily, good to see you. Is the chat working? Okay, it was freezing for a second. Dark Jeep was on Murdoch's property on police video cam during trial. Interesting. I know that Buster sold his car afterward. Okay. So, yeah, it froze or something. I don't know what happened. Okay. So, guys, I will most likely be back later tonight on maybe my other channel, maybe this channel, I'm not sure yet. But we're going to talk about the standard of beauty that has changed throughout from 1900 to 2023, how the standard of beauty has changed. Uh, and I thought it's an interesting topic to talk about, and we will go and we'll talk about it. And what was the perfect look of the 1930s, of the 1950s, and all of that. And it's just a very, I think it's an interesting, fun conversation, uh, and it'll lighten up the mood a little bit. So you would love that topic. You would love that topic. You would love that topic. Awesome. Well, we're going to talk about it. How the standard of beauty has, as it changes from decade to decade, and what is in, what is out, versus decade to decade. Um, but no matter what, you are beautiful, no matter what, as long as you are happy in your skin. That is the main thing. So I thought it would be, I'm shaped like Homer Simpson. Shut up, Debbie. You're funny as crap, Debbie. Um, that's funny. You like the 50s? Well, we are going to start from like literally early 1900. And it'll give us examples of who was the it person of that time. And I just thought it would be a fun conversation to talk about. And so yeah, we'll be doing that. It'll be more laid back. So if you're not subscribed to my other channel, it's called Clutch Them Pearls. I suggest you please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And I still don't know if I'll be doing it over there or here, but either way, it is 7:30 right now, so probably about 9:30, 9:30. I'll be. We'll just be. It'll be a more of a chill thing. So yeah. All right, my lovelies. That would be so enlightening to hear what the young women of today think. Yeah. Yes. And also, after this live, I'm going to be doing what the beauty standard is by country. By country. So, like, if you go to Saudi Arabia, um, India, Pakistan, Iran, really, the more fair you are and the more light skin, the lighter eyes you are, that is the in thing. Then you know how like a lot of Americans tan, a lot of white people at least, uh, they put lighteners on their face and stuff. Yes, it's called Clutch Them Pearls. All right, guys, I love you all. I'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll have fun over there. Thank you so much for joining me. Justice for Stephen Smith. Let's pray that something happens. God bless. Something good happens and he gets justice. Good night. Bye bye.